Hey guys, it's Bree here at Blossom and Branch Farm, and today I'm going to be showing you something that I just got in the mail, and I'm really excited to share. This is my candid first unboxing, first attempt with this particular tool. Drum roll. Bam. Check out this baby. And bam. Wait for it. Sorry, hold on. Bam. Check out this baby. Look how cute they are. These are Swift blockers. So you may have remembered I was one of the first to show on YouTube about Swift blockers. So Swift Blocker is an American company run by a couple out of Michigan, and what they wanted to do was create an easier way to create an entire 10-20 tray like this one of blocks in one press. So instead of where we're using our handheld blocker like this one and making all different presses, they wanted to make one that you could do one all at once, and then also one that fit into a tray better, because as you can see here, our soil blocker doesn't fit well into a 10-20 tray. It's just not meant to. So as much as I hate 10-20 trays because they do things like this, I really despise plastics. You guys know that I usually use my fiberglass trays, but I do still have some floating around my shed. So these are the trays that I prefer to use, these fiberglass versions, because they're much sturdier. So you can see how I can hold this with one hand. When it's full of soil, even it'll stay sturdy. This one, even holding it with nothing in it, it's not sturdy. So anyway, that's why I like to use those. That's not the topic for today though. The topic is the Swift blocker. The Swift blocker came up with this blocker that will fill an entire tray. However, for most home gardeners, it's too much. We don't need that much. No one's starting usually a full tray of that many seedlings. So instead, they came up with this little guy. Now, what's the benefit of this one, in my mind, over, say, the handheld blocker? Well, this one is great for people with hand mobility issues. So the soil blocker, I love this guy. It gets well used. But if you're pressing a lot, it can become painful here on your knuckles as you're pressing into your soil. And it can just, especially if you're doing a lot of blocks, it can become a lot over time. So Swift Blocker wanted to kind of make this easier on people's hands. Now, I can already tell you that unfortunately, I use this 8.5 by 11, I use this 9.5 by 26. Those are my two sizes that I typically use for a fiberglass tray. Unfortunately, neither of these fit into a fiberglass tray, not the ones that I use anyway. They don't fit, you know, without extra weird space. However, my handheld blocker fits in here perfectly. Oh, it's so satisfying. So I can fit a lot on my trays. So that's kind of one downside. Now, however, if you use 10-20 trays, these fit perfectly in here. So two at a time, one this way and one this way. So we're gonna press out some of these. I'm gonna give it a test. This is the first time I've tried these. They literally just came in the mail. Look how shiny and clean and beautiful they are. They had these little dibbles set in them. So let's just give it a shot. So the first thing that I've realized with a lot of these handheld blockers is that you have to, oh, and there's two different sizes. I forgot to show this. So this is the smaller size, which are just bigger than the mini blockers. And then there's also this one, which I think is a 1.5 inch. So this is a nice medium size. So actually, let's try this one first. And I've learned that with a lot of these handheld blockers, you actually don't have to get your soil quite as wet as when you are doing soil blocking with a stamp. So let's just do one here. Now with these, you have to make sure that you're filling all of the holes. So I'm just pressing my dirt into here, making sure I get it into all the corners, and then we'll scrape and level it off. I'll take my scraper, go through, I'm gonna press this down, and then I'll scrape off, I guess, the top. So, again, if you are someone like me who does a lot of soil blocking, if you do this on a market farm level, really getting the giant Swift blocker probably makes the most sense, because you can do that full tray at a time. But if you're just doing these at home and you're dabbling with soil blocking and you just haven't been able to use the hand blocker for whatever reason, or the hand blocker hurts your hands, this might be a good option. All right, so now, once you've got it full, we're gonna press down with the top plate. So we just press, and then I'm just gonna squeeze the handles to release it. And there we have our little one, they're little cuties. Look at them. So again, I mentioned these ones I found the soil doesn't have to be quite as moist as when I'm stamping out a block with my soil blocker. So you can see they still have nice edges to them. They're firmly packed, they pick up well. That top compression plate really helps do that. So this is a great way to make a bunch of these. So I just made, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 little soil blocks. Let's try the bigger size next. Okay, the pink one, that was fun. Now let's try the bigger one. Come here. I'm just gonna have to clean again. All right, guys, can you use your fingers to kind of press down the dirt into the, yep, press it into all the corners. Hi, Core. Yep, you have to press it down too hard. You just kind of want to make sure that it's like in there. Now, we'll put down the top plate, which is here. All right, and we're going to press down to these. And the other great thing about, oh, I guess we'll see it in a second. Okay, pressing, pressing. And then the squeeze and lift. Ready? Drum roll. Ta-da! What do you think?
Perfect.
Were you going to eat them? Here, let's take a, here, you hold one. Okay. Edges. Nice flat sides, good corners. I always like that in a block. All right, so what do you think of these, guys? Are these pretty cool?
Pretty cool.
All right, so here's my review on the mini Swift blockers. And so I think these are going to make soil blocking a lot more accessible to a lot more gardeners, especially those who have mobility issues or maybe arthritis in the hands and can't do a normal soil blocker. It makes a lot of blocks at one time, so that's great. I love the enamel coating on them. That's gonna make them, I think these are powder coated, so these are gonna hold up a long time. They're really sturdy gauge metal, and they're made in the US by an American company. So that's always a great thing too. So I believe these are starting at $79. So relative to a soil blocker, they're more expensive. But again, you're pressing out more blocks at a time and less painful on the hands than this guy. Which one am I gonna keep using? Honestly, I'm sticking to my Ladbroke right now because I have these fiberglass trays that fit custom with these, and it would be a shame for me to not use them because I can fit, for me, it's all about maximizing space. So the more I can maximize space in my seed starting area, the better. So I'm sticking with these ones just because they fit perfectly into my fiberglass trays, but TBD, maybe we'll work with Swift Blocker and come up with a different tray alternative and maybe one of these that fits just perfect into one of my trays. In the meantime, if you're looking for one of these, head over to Swift Blocker. I'll link it below. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys around here soon at the farm.